The Shenington Showdown is Tyro Jr., the final race of the weekend. Oliver Gibson and Maddox Chan, Sam Aston and Archie Gale. From Harvey Williams, Ryan Sayers, George Townsend, Jacob Aston and Dan Parsons. Let's go to battle as we head onto the main straight in the tram lines. Let's race at Shenington one last time. And as the drivers work their way through to Cafe Corner, it's already pretty fluid as George Townsend leads the way in the championship fight, but has certainly had to work his way through from the tail end. So this is going to be an interesting one. Sliding wide on the run down to the first couple of corners. It is Gibson initially. You've not got many drivers in this race battle to play these games, guys. It got pretty frenetic there. But it is now Harvey Williams who has worked his way through from 5th on the grid initially, but the Lichfield lad is now P2, and that's why there's a tiny bit of daylight between Williams in second place and Gibson in the lead. Sam Aston is still there or thereabouts, but there's the move on the inside from Maddox Chan to get back into P2 on Harvey Williams, and all this squabbling is just giving Oliver Gibson license to run out in the lead.
Yeah, Gibson well happy with this. He's not looking over his shoulder, but if he was, he'd be well happy with what he sees behind. Started P7, now P6 for George Townsend. So I think Townsend was a championship leader coming into the round. I might be wrong there, but he's well out of position today. I expected him to be challenging for pole position. Frankly, that's a great battle going on there.
Yeah, it's for third position. This is a Formula One battle, effectively. It's Williams versus Aston, because you've got Harvey Williams and Samuel Aston having a terrific run as they go through the Bruno Ferrari chicane, then they go through Hanger on the run to Wilkins. Is there going to be a move for second? I thought for a moment that Harvey Williams was going to have, that Samuel Aston, I should say, was going to have his eyes wider than his stomach there, but he thought better of it. He runs ahead of Archie Gale, then George Townsend in P6, Ryan Sayers and Jacob Aston in P8. But Oliver Gibson has got almost the length of the entire field as a distance between himself and Maddox Chan. A second clear already, but there's a lot to go. Here comes Aston on the inside of Williams. That'll do nicely. So Sam Aston is now P3 out of a brilliant move out of the Stratford hairpin.
Yeah, the fastest man on track, of course, is the race leader, Oliver Gibson. He's put fastest lap in after fastest lap, and you can see the lead is quite comfortable at the moment, but Maddox Chan doing his best to close him down. This is the battle for third place.
This is the kind of class as well where you need the momentum of the drivers around you to really maximise the pure aerodynamic pace of these karts. Don't forget that when you cut through the air in karts, there is obviously some good aerodynamic bodywork to help you, but you're still cutting through the air with a block, a solid block, and as a result of that, you've got to try, this is why you see the drivers ducking in behind the helmet, you've got to try and maximise those Nassau panels. They're using this very new design of Nassau, which has the air hole in the middle of it to cut through, and drivers have actually told me on the continent that those Nassaus can actually give you anywhere between 8 and 900ths of a second more downforce per lap. So that really does, that's almost a 10th of a second quicker. So that is quite a big thing, isn't it?
This is the battle for second and third we were looking at there. The man in third set the fastest lap on the last lap. That now goes to Oliver Gibson, very temporarily, because Archie Gale in 5th place now is the fastest man on the track. So all of these guys quick.
By 7,000ths of a second as well. It's not as if this isn't close. As up the inside, that's going to be a move for P4. Gale gets the move there on Williams, so that puts him into P4.
As Williams there runs wide, coming out of Stratford hairpin onto the straight.
Tyro Jr. yet again proving to be one of these epic classes in British karting where if you don't have quantity, you still have plenty of quality. Samuel Aston all over the back of Maddox Chan, and this is what he needs to do now. There's that huge gap, that huge deficit to Gibson. Do not overtake Maddox, Sam. Just sit behind him, push him, push him. He's got fast pace. He's just banged in the fastest lap. So this is how you're going to win this race. You've got 8 minutes on the clock. You've got plenty of time to get a 1.4 second deficit. Well, he's not going to work with Maddox Chan. I thought he might do the dirty on him there into the hairpin and get the move. But actually, if you play the long game here, Sam, work with Maddox Chan. He's a shorter driver in terms of height as well. So if he just tucks in behind Maddox Chan, not only will he give his engine a little bit of a breather, but he can work with him, and the two of them can essentially work together to get that gap down, and that's exactly what he's doing as they head into Wilkins.
Yeah, these karts, by the way, are pretty much all junior Rotax karts, I think. I don't think the Tyro Junior means you can run pretty much any junior type of kart, two-stroke generally. But I think these are all junior road taxis, looking at them and listening to the engines. Great battle here for second place, Jake.
Yep, the gap is still 1.4, but it might be too much for Sam Aston to cope with. He has another think about Maddox Chan, doesn't actually get the move, but the more you sit behind the kart that you think is too slow to work with you, the more time that you're going to subconsciously think you're going to lose, and that creates urgency, that creates a sense of desperation. We now just got under 7 minutes. Does the overtaking move come? Well, certainly the bump draft comes going into Wilkins. That's just the hurry up. From Maddox Chan's point of view, he'll be thinking, right, so he's right on me. I've got to keep this pace up. And what do they do in terms of lap times? It's almost identical to Gibson, but it can't afford to be identical because that gap is already a second and a half. It needs to be quicker, and significantly so. Yeah,
Gibson, Williams and Ryan Sayers all set their fastest laps on that last lap.
Oh, there was nudging there from Aston as he makes the bid on Maddox Chan. That's what you don't want. Yes, he gets through into second place, but the time deficit lost to Gibson in the change of momentum, that could cost him any chance to catch him in the end.
Fantastic racing going on though, Jake, in what is a relatively small field. I think the smallest field we've seen all weekend, but great race going on. You don't often, sometimes you just don't need a lot of drivers in a race to make it a great race, and this is a great race, especially for second, third and fourth there. The others not out of it either.
Yep, said it before, said it again. Quality over quantity on this particular occasion in Tyro Junior. Aston, Chan, and here comes Archie Gale. Gale setting his personal best lap. Will he slingshot it to the inside of Stratford? Well, he's not going to take too big a risk this point in the race. He's still got a little bit more to do, but he can work with Maddox Chan. I mean, to be fair, the saving grace could actually be Archie Gale, because he can see the daylight between Gibson and Aston. He can see the long game here. He thinks, I don't want to be fighting for third. I don't want to be fighting for second. I want to win this. He can actually be the man to take the responsibility. Big dive from Chan. That's from a long way back, and that's going to cost them even more time to Oliver Gibson. This is why they need to settle their differences. Oh, hand in the air from the 21 Sam Aston. Now, from time to time when you see a hand in the air that deliberate, that almost looks as if he's got a mechanical problem, but he's clearly not, because he's still going strong. So I'm not entirely sure what that hand gesture was for from Sam Aston.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but Oliver Gibson is out front, and as you say, Jake, with these three now, they're battling for second. They know they're battling for second, and Gibson now just getting away, and he's already set another fastest lap.
Is Sam Aston auditioning for the new Lord of the Rings movie? Was that his Gandalf? You shall not pass. It was a little bit edgy there on the way through. Here comes Archie Gale, trying to tighten in again on Maddox Chan. Chan still holds third position for the time being. Archie Gale getting frustrated, sat behind him. And yeah, look at the daylight now between Gibson and Aston. In fact, Gibson's just banged in a 44.3 by comparison to these guys on 44.6s. That's a massive difference in time. And that's just the confidence that Gibson's been able to continue on with. Archie Gale tries again on Maddox Chan. Chan goes quite deep into the hairpin. That's a big gamble because he's going to be slower on the exit. This is where Gale can really start to hammer it home into the Bruno Ferrari chicane. But again, Chan just goes a little bit deeper in the brakes. He just keeps the raw pace of the kart going a little bit further in. He doesn't seem to be braking in these corners as late as Archie Gale is. Again, he just builds that little bit of extension of the gap going in, but coming out, he gets closer again. So it's a difficult one. It's a tough tactic for Maddox Chan.
Lap after lap after lap for Oliver Gibson. 3 consecutive laps. He has set the fastest lap now.
And 3 laps consecutively of 44.3 as well. Pretty much metronomic pace. I tell you what, a Le Mans team like your Toyotas, your Porsches, your Aston Martins are going to be looking at that going, that's a very trusty young racing driver. You can get metronomic pace 3 laps in a row at 44.3. That's a big advert for a future talent right there.
Archie Gale in this, what looks like sort of bright orange helmet. He's easy to spot, isn't he, whenever we see him? And even from the drone, simple to spot from above.
Harvey Williams in P5, just trying to stay with him, and there's Ryan Sayers as well. This has been a very tough race weekend for George Townsend, hasn't it? He's not been able to make the progress he would have liked to from 7th position still currently. Archie Gale again. Watch again. See, that's exactly, there is the perfect example. Maddox Chan just so much later on the brakes than Archie Gale. It keeps the position initially, but as they roll off the hairpin, Gale is able to get on the throttle fractionally quicker than Maddox Chan. So it's a risky game that Chan is playing here. It certainly keeps him ahead in the initial part of the apex, but on the exit, he's vulnerable. Watch again in Wilkins. Oh, well, Gale decides, I'm not going to follow this tactic anymore, I'm going for it.
That's a great move, by the way. No problem with that. There was very minuscule contact, but I'm okay with that, frankly.
Chan's coming back at him, but Gale has got it finished. Chan comes again. Oh, no! Too aggressive! Too much from Maddox Chan, and unfortunately Archie Gale and Maddox Chan end up tumbling down. Let's look at it again. See, Maddox Chan was trying to get vengeance for the original move. Dives, it's brave, bang, 2 rear wheels will come together and up and over they go.
Well, you look at them there, they were side by side. Should Archie Gale, so Kart 21 in second, is under investigation for gaining advantage by contact.
Yeah, that's Samuel Gale. Sorry, Samuel Aston, I should say.
We've not seen anything to do with Sam Aston. Must have been earlier in the race, Jake, but he's under investigation for gaining a place by contact. I'm not sure when that happened. There's certainly contact there with involving Archie Gale, wasn't there? I don't think Gale did necessarily anything wrong. That may go down as a racing incident.
Well, Archie Gale was just taking his normal racing line and suddenly found Maddox Chan to his right, not really expecting him to be there. That is the move from Ryan Sayers as they go wheel to wheel, Sayers and Williams. This is the new battle for third position as a result of the disappearance from the fray of Gale and Chan. They are still going, by the way, those two. Archie Gale has resumed in P5, Chan in P7.
This is the battle for third at the moment, Jake.
Yes.
But if a penalty comes for Sam Aston...
That's a good point.
That could be what, a 5-second penalty? That could potentially, they are...
Yeah, P2.
Yeah, they could be battling here for P2, not P3.
And
they won't know that as the marshal takes his life in his hands going through Cafe Corner in front of the tyres with the cart still coming. Yeah,
to be fair, you've got to be pretty brave to do that, but they are the best qualified marshals on the planet, the British Motorsport Marshals, the Orange Army, as we call them. Can't race without them. Well, Harvey Williams is going ultra defensive now. We know that we're on the penultimate lap with 20 seconds on the clock. I mean, they might just about come through with a lap or so. There it is, a 5-second penalty for contact. We didn't see what it was, but Samuel Aston has got a 5-second penalty for contact. And now at the inside, Ryan Sayers threads the eye of the needle in Wilkins. That is such a tough overtake to pull off.
That was a great overtake. 2 laps remaining as they go through. They just had enough time as they went through the line. The leader went through the line, so 2 laps remaining. And Sayers thinks he's in third. At the moment, he's just about in second.
I tell you what, I've seen drivers try that move with that amount of space so many times over the last decade, and they've all ended in tears. Fair play to Sayers for pulling it off. They're going to go side by side in the Bruno chicane. Sayers trying to hang on from Harvey Williams. He's gone deep. Williams is going to get better purchase off the turn. Will he have the space to go alongside into Hanger? No, he tucks back in, but now he's going to try into Wilkins. Sayers is keeping it on the curb. No way through. Watch out, boys. Here comes Archie Gale. He wants a podium. Last lap begins.
Gale, who was involved in that incident, is now back in the mix for what would be potentially second if he overtakes these two, third if he overtakes the man in front of him.
Well, this is now turning into the Broadway production of Days of Thunder on Ice, because the back end of these karts is sliding around all over the place.
Yeah, Sayers has got a 4-wheel drift going on, certainly coming into the chicane last time.
Let's see if Williams has got what it takes. He draws level with Williams. In comes Gale. Gale's going to try and split them. It's not going to happen. Sayers is still there in third, Williams in fourth, but here comes Oliver Gibson unchallenged to the flag. The victory comes his way, and it's a dominant victory. There is Sam Aston, but he's got the 5-second penalty. So who's going to get second? It will be Ryan Sayers, who manages it from Harvey Williams and Archie Gale. That's going to drop Sam Aston to P5.
Yeah, Sayers, 5-second penalty. Is going to drop Sayers back. There you go, 5-second penalty for gaining unfair advantage by contact. We never saw where he got that, where the contact occurred, but it's cost him. Oliver Gibson takes the win from Ryan Sayers. Sam Aston there in third from Williams, Gale, Chan, Townsend. Really unusual to see Townsend down that far, Jake, and then Jacob Aston. Daniel Parsons, of course, did not start.
Yeah, it's a tricky day at the office for George Townsend. What does that do in terms of the points, of course? It changes things a bit. Oliver Gibson is still there, but now overtaking George Townsend. Maddox Chan in third, ahead of Archie Gale and Sayers, who are tied for P5, ahead of Sam Aston, with plenty of great racing still to come from this class in 2024.
That's all from Shenington, but join us in a month's time when we'll be bringing you more race action from the fantastic circuit at Wilton Mill in Northamptonshire, where drama is guaranteed. We'll see you then.